Hello there everyone and welcome to another edition of Lydia's Crafty Corner. So today I'm going to be sharing with you a fun technique. So we're going to be using the same die in the background as well as a focus point on your projects. So this is a great way to stretch your supplies only using one die set. So to start with, I'm going to be using the beautiful, this is one of my favorites, Rose Filament Die Set. So it has loads of different roses in here so you can create lots of different projects. So I'm just going to cut these firstly out of some white cardstock. So this is Nina Solar white cardstock and it is a full sheet, and I'm just going to cut all of these elements twice so I then have lots of beautiful roses. Once I have all of my elements cut, I'm then going to make these into little stickers. So I have a little Xyron sticker maker here, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to run my white die cut roses through here to give them a sticky back. So you don't have to do it this way, you could definitely use just any adhesive, but I did find that this worked really well. If you are using the Xyron or a double-sided adhesive, you are going to need to burnish your images down, and I do find that a paper stump works really well for this. Once they're all burnished down, I can then remove them off the backing sheet and place them onto a piece of cardstock. Now this cardstock is 8.5 by 5.5, so I can cut this in half later on and then create two panels for two fronts of cards. So as you can see, I'm just going to stick these in lovely little stickers that we do have now into place, and it's kind of like a jigsaw, so you might need to move them around a bit to get them in the right place, but they do fit together really well, and this is one of my favorite things to do. I don't know about you, I really do like making a background and creating kind of a jigsaw puzzle with the images so they all fit in nicely together. So once that is done and they're all in perfect position, I'm going to flip it over and then going to take some scissors and I'm just going to snip off the ones that are a little hanging over the side. And once I've done that, I'm then going to cut my piece in half. So I do then have two 4.25 by 5.5 card panels for the fronts of my cards. I'm then going to take a piece of cardstock and I'm just going to run this through my little sticker makeup again. You don't have to use the Xyron, you could use any adhesive, but I just wanted a piece of cardstock that had sticky all over one side so I could then move on to the next part of my card. So when I remove this, one side of my cardstock does have a lovely bit of stick to it, so you can just definitely make this with a little bit of glue if you wanted to, but I do find that this works really well. I'm then going to take one of those beautiful die cut roses again, and I'm going to remove all of the pieces from this, making sure that I do keep them all because I'm going to want to pop them back into place once I have coloured them. So as you can see, I'm using a little pin just to pop through the little holes at the back of the die so I can then remove all of the pieces and have everything in a little pile so I don't lose anything at all. So once I've done that, I'm going to stick that down, but I do remove it. I do change my mind. So I'm going to colour my little inlay pieces. So for the first flower that I'm going to do, this little rose here, I'm going to use some artist markers, and I'm using Coral Berry and also Frosty Pink for this one. So I'm adding the Coral Berry to where I think is going to be the darkest. So this is going to be like the base of the petal or where the petals overlap. And I'm just going to keep going with the same colours to do the petals. As I said before, I did change my mind, so I removed the white rose die cut outline and I'm just going to colour this in using my jet black artist marker. This is going to make it really bold and bright and stand out a lot more than it would if it was just white. You could leave it white if you wanted to, but I think that the boldness on this works really well. For the leaves, I'm going to use the beautiful artist markers again, and I'm going to use the Frayed Leaf and the Forest Glades. The Forest Glades is the darker shade, so I'm adding this where I think it would be darkest, and the Frayed Leaf is the lightest shade. So once I do colour the images in, I then pop them back into place in that rose outline on the sticky sheet of paper that we've just created. So this is really going to make sure that they stay in place, and it's really easy. I just love jigsaws, so another little bit of jigsaw making in a different way on this card as well. So as you can see, I'm just going to keep going with all of the petals and all of the leaves. If you did want to leave out this part, you could cut the die again out of maybe some coloured paper or some pattern paper, and then you can inlay that into your outline, and that's going to give you a different look as well. So if you don't want to colour the images, again, you do have options of using either coloured cardstock or some patterned paper as well. So once I have then finished my beautiful pink rose, I'm then going to move on to my blue rose. So I now know that I'm going to colour my outline first. So I did adhere this down straight away. I'm just going to colour this in, again using the jet black marker, and then pop that onto my little sticky sheet over there. Some of the pieces are overlaying, but most of the pieces that are going to be on there are going to be stuck to that sheet. So I'm not going to worry too much about that at all. So for this flower, I'm going to use some blue colours. So I'm going to be using the beautiful artist markers again, and I'm going to be using Desert Night and Ocean Waves for the petals. And again, I'm going to go with the same greens as before. So the frayed leaf and the forest glades for the leaves as well. I just love how these roses come together. They kind of grow in front of your eyes. Once you colour a piece and you pop it in, it makes it brighter and brighter and bolder, and I just love that effect. So once I've finished colouring all of my little petals and all of the leaves and popped them into place on my little sticky bit and created my little bit of inlaid die cutting, I'm then going to cut around the images. So I'm using just some scissors and I'm fussy cutting around these, and it's really quite easy because we do have that layered piece on top, so it's going to give you a little bit of thickness, so it's really easy just to butt your scissors up to this line and then cut around it, and it's going to give you kind of a sturdy die cut in the end because we've got 2 layers of cardstock going on now. So I'm just going to keep going until I do have both of my pieces, and then I am going to place them onto my card base. So the panels I made before, I've already added these onto a card base using a little bit of glue tape, and I'm then going to add on my little embellishments that we've just created. So I've just added a little bit of foam tape behind them, and I'm going to add a simple sentiment from the circled sentiment stamp set. I've just stamped these using some jet black ink and then cut them out using the coordinating die as well. So I'm going to do exactly the same on the second one. I've just added some foam tape, just add a little bit of dimension to my little die cut, pop it into place, and then add my little sentiment again from the circled sentiment stamp set, again stamped in jet black, and then cut out using the coordinating die. And here are my 2 cards complete. I really do love how they turned out, and that how you can stretch just one supply using it in 2 different ways. So maybe for a background and then maybe for the focus point, and adding them both together gives a really bold and different look as well. So I really do hope that you've enjoyed the video and that you like the techniques that are involved. I would really love that if you do create anything inspired by this, if you could share, I would love to see it. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. There are a couple more videos here for you to watch at your own leisure, and if you don't want to miss out on anything that we do upload to the channel, it would be great if you do subscribe. Again, thank you so much for watching, everyone, and I'll see you again really, really soon. Bye bye.